Hello, this is Chapter 18, Global Marketing and Business Analytics. Our learning objectives: understand the importance of business analytics and international market research. Explain why it might make sense to vary the attributes of a product from country to country. Recognize why and how a firm's distribution strategy might vary among countries. Identify why and how advertising and promotional strategies might vary among countries. Explain why and how a firm's pricing strategy might vary among countries. Understand how to configure the marketing mix globally. And lastly, describe how globalization is affecting product development. Introduction. Mass producing a standardized output. It allows a firm to realize substantial unit cost reductions from experience curve effects and other economies of scale. However, ignoring country differences in consumer tastes and preferences can lead to failure. A link between marketing, analytics, and research and development. The marketing mix: product, price, promotion, and place, the 4 Ps. Many firms vary aspects of their marketing mix from country to country. Globalization of markets and brands. Theodore Levitt's Harvard Business Review article states that the importance of technology and globalization, fewer differences in national and regional preferences, and global corporations sell the same things the same way. It leads to standardization of products, manufacturing, trade, and commerce. But the question is Levitt right? Market segmentation. Markets are segmented by geography, demography, socio-cultural factors, as well as psychological factors. Issues for marketing managers include the differences between countries in the structure of market segments, existence of segments that transcend national borders, an intermarket segment of customers that spans multiple countries transcending national borders. It enhances the ability of an international business to view the global marketplace as a single entity and pursue a global strategy. 2 choices: one country and multiple market segments, or many countries and the intermarket segment. Business analytics. Focusing on the global marketplace, 3 core applications of business analytics include descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Small data and big data are both used to better understand companies' current products and services in the global marketplace. International marketing research. International market research involves systematic collection, recording, analysis, and interpretation of data. All the issues of domestic marketing research included here: translation of questionnaires reports into the appropriate foreign languages, accounting for cultural and environmental differences in the data collection. Also, global companies often have an in-house department, also conducted by customer satisfaction companies and international market research firms. They may have the resident expertise that you don't have. International marketing research: the basic data is collected, data on the country and potential market segments, geography, demography, sociocultural factors, and psychological factors. Data to forecast customer demands within specific country or world region, social, economic, consumer, and industry trends. Data to make marketing mix decisions: product, distribution, communication, and price. Process. Defining the research objectives, determining what the data sources are, assessing the costs and benefits of the research, then collecting the data, then analyzing and interpreting the research, and then reporting the research findings. International market research steps: defining the research objectives, determining the data sources, assessing the costs, collecting the data, analyzing and interpreting the data, and then reporting the research findings. Defining the research objectives. Well, defining the research problem. What is the problem? What are we trying to do here? That needs to be set out very clearly. Then setting the objectives for the market research. Then determining what the data sources are. What's the primary and secondary data? And then assessing the costs and benefits. Primary data is more costly. Collecting the data is the primary or secondary methods, and quantitative experiments, clinical trials, observing and recording events, and administering surveys with closed-end questions. And the qualitative would be in-depth personal interviews, observation methods, and document reviews. Analyzing and interpreting the research requires statistical and cultural knowledge and often uses specialized software. When you're reporting the research findings, it may include information on customers, competitors, countries, the industry, and the environment. Product attributes, well, cultural differences. Consumers' needs vary from country to country, social structure, language, religion, education, others, and the differences have implications for marketing strategy. And the impact of tradition. Some evidence also that tastes and preferences are becoming more cosmopolitan. Economic development. Consumer behavior is influenced by the level of economic development of a country. Consumers in the most developed countries are often not willing to sacrifice their preferred attributes for lower prices. Consumers in the most advanced countries are willing to pay more for products with additional features and attributes customized to their tastes and preferences. Products and technical standards. Regional trade agreements may influence certain regional markets to become more globalized. Differing government-mandated product standards can often result in companies ruling out mass production and marketing of a fully global and standardized product. Differences in technical standards also constrain the globalization of markets. Distribution strategy. Distribution systems channel with a wholesale distributor and a retailer. Firm may also sell directly to the consumer, to the retailer, or to the wholesaler. And a firm may sell to an import agent who then deals with the wholesale distributor, the retailer, or the consumer. Here's a typical distribution system. Manufacture inside the country, go to the final customer, or could go to the retail distributor, or could go to the wholesale distributor. Manufacturing outside the country can go to an import agent, or it can go directly to a wholesale distributor, retail distributor, or final customer. The differences between countries, you have a retail concentration, the concentrated retail system. Few retailers supply most of the market. It's greater in developed countries because of car ownership, the number of households with refrigerators and freezers, and the number of two-income households. Increased consolidation in the global retail industry. Fragmented retail system, many retailers, none with a major share. More common in developing countries because of geography and road conditions. Channel length. Producer to consumer equals a short channel. Producer sells through import agent, wholesaler, and the retailer equals long channel. Countries with fragmented retail systems also tend to have long channels of distribution. Large discount superstores shorten the channel length. Channel exclusivity. Distribution channel that is difficult for outsiders to access. Varies among countries. For example, Japan is very exclusive. Channel quality. Not consistent in emergent markets and less developed nations. It also may impede market entry. Choosing a distribution strategy is determined by relative costs and benefits of retail concentration, channel length, channel exclusivity, and channel quality. The link between channel length, final selling price, and profit margin. A longer channel cuts selling costs when the retail sector is very fragmented and provides access to an exclusive channel. Communication strategy. Barriers to international communication. There are cultural barriers, and it can make it difficult to communicate messages. Also, necessary to develop cross-cultural literacy. Use local input in developing the marketing message. Source and country of origin effects. Source effects can be damaging when there is bias against foreign firms. Occurs when receiver of message evaluates message on basis of status or image of sender. Country of origin effects. Consumer may use country of origin as a cue when evaluating a product. Use promotional messages that stress positive performance attributes of product. It's not always negative. Noise levels. Refers to the number of other messages competing for a potential consumer's attention. It's high in highly developed countries, and it's lower in developing countries because there are fewer firms competing for attention. Push versus pull strategies. Push strategy emphasizes personal selling, which is costly. Pull strategy depends more on mass media advertising. Choice is determined by consumer sophistication, channel length, and media availability. Product type and consumer sophistication. Consumer goods usually pulls usual sorry. Consumer goods usually use pull strategy, except in nations with poor literacy rates. Industrial products or complex products favor a push strategy. Customer education may be important when consumers have less sophistication toward the product. In advanced nations, when a new complex product is being introduced or where high quality channels are absent or scarce. Channel length. The longer the distribution channel, the more intermediaries, and it can lead to inertia in the channel, and direct selling can be expensive. Media availability. A pull strategy relies on access to advertising media. In developed countries, advertising is focused. In developing countries, there are fewer forms of mass media. The use of pull strategy is limited. Media availability may be limited by law. The push-pull mix. Push strategies for industrial products or complex new products, or when distribution channels are short, or when few print or social media are available. Pull strategies are for consumer goods, when distribution channels are long, and when sufficient print and social media available to carry marketing message. Global advertising. For standardized advertising, there are economic advantages. There's a shortage of creative talent or global brand names. Against standardized advertising, cultural differences, and then advertising regulations. Dealing with country differences. A firm may select some features to include in all its advertising campaigns and localize other features. May save on some costs and build international brand recognition. Pricing strategy. Price discrimination. Charging what the market will bear helps maximize profits. National markets must be kept separate. Price elasticity of demand is a measure of responsiveness of demand for a product to change in price. Elasticity is greater in countries with low income levels and more competition. Inelastic demand means large change in price produces small change in demand. And we can see this through this chart here where it's showing elastic and inelastic demand curves. Pricing strategy. Strategic pricing, predatory pricing. Use aggressive pricing to drive out competitors and then raise prices and operate in a monopoly position. Requires firms to have a profitable position in another market to subsidize the aggressive pricing process. A multi-point pricing strategy. Two or more international businesses compete against each other in two or more national markets. Pricing can be aggressive, eliciting a competitive response. Experience curve pricing. Aggressive pricing designed to increase volume and help the firm realize experience curve economies. This is low initial pricing to rapidly build sales volume. Take profits later after moving down the experience curve. Regulatory influences on prices. You have something called anti-dumping regulations, ambiguity in the definition of dumping, and a set of floor under export prices and limit firms' abilities to pursue strategic pricing. Competition policy is designed to promote competition and to restrict monopoly practices. It can be used to limit the prices a firm can charge in a given country. Configuring the marketing mix. Marketing mix may vary according to local differences in culture, economic conditions, competitive conditions, product and technical standards, distribution systems, and government regulations, etc. Questions to address to configure the marketing mix. Product core. Do the customers have similar product needs across international market segments? Product adoption. How is the product bought by customers in the international market segments targeted? Product management. How are established products versus new products managed for customers in the international market segments? And lastly, product branding. What is the perception of the product brand by customers in the international market segments? Distribution channels. Where is the product typically bought by customers in the international market segments? Wholesale distribution. What is the role of wholesalers for the international market segments targeted? and retail distribution? What is the availability of different types of retail stores in the international markets for the customer segments targeted? Excuse me. Communication strategy, advertising. How is product awareness created for a product to reach customers in the international market segments targeted? Publicity, etc., etc., etc. Pricing strategy of the value. Is the price of a product critical to the customer's understanding or perception of the value of the product itself among customers in the international market segments? And then we also have demand, costs, and retail price. Product development and R&D. New product success interplay among international marketing, R&D, and manufacturing. You've got technological innovation, pace of change accelerating, shorter product life cycles, and creative destruction. The location of R&D. The rate of new product development is greatest in countries where more money is spent on basic and applied research and development, underlying demand is strong, and consumers are affluent, competition is intense, and US is no longer the lead market. Integrating R&D, marketing, and production. New product development has a high failure rate. Development of a technology for which demand is limited. Failure to adequately commercialize promising technology, and inability to manufacture a new product cost effectively. Tight cross-functional integration can help a company ensure that product development products are driven by customer needs, new products are designed for ease of manufacture, and development costs are kept in check, and also the time to market is minimized. Cross-functional teams. Objective is to take a product development project from the initial concept development to market introduction. High-power project managers, most likely more successful, at least one member from each key functional area of the business, physically in one location if possible, and there has to be a clear plan and goals, and the processes for communication and conflict resolution. Building global R&D capabilities. Commercialization may require different versions of a product to be produced for various countries, and have a global network of R&D centers. The 360 view impact of the macro environment. Impacts on international business, ongoing rise of global markets and transnational intermarket segments, lower barriers to cross-border trade and investment, and growth of global media and cross-border travel. Recent shift toward economic nationalism resulting increases in trade barriers may foreshadow a reaction to globalization. The rise of big data analytics and increased connectivity, hyper-personalization of marketing messages, and identification of important niche segments, both within and across countries. I thank you for listening. Have a great day.